So students, in this video we are going to discuss about products of electrolysis. Now in electrolysis we know whatever electrolyte we have, it is going to be decomposed into the different types of components or the products. Before going to discuss about the electrolysis, let's have a look at overpotential. What does overpotential means? So overpotential is nothing but the difference in theoretical potential that we see and the observed potential that is actually required for electrolysis to happen. Now see, if we have in a container the two electrodes, two platinum electrodes I have kept here, and this is connected to the battery. Now this is the electrolyte solution, and the electrolyte is dilute H2SO4. Now we know during the electrolysis of dilute H2SO4, if this is cathode and this is anode, electrolysis is therefore cathode is negatively charged, anode is positively charged. So in this, during this electrolysis of H2SO4, at cathode hydrogen gas is formed, whereas at anode oxygen gas is formed, and the reaction that happens is at cathode the hydrogen ions, that is 2H plus ions, combines with the two electrons to give H2 molecule, that is H2 gas, and at anode 4OH minus ions gives oxygen gas plus 2H2O plus 4 electrons. Now during this process of oxidation and reduction, what happens? When hydrogen is formed at cathode and when oxygen is formed at anode, electrons are either accepted or electrons are either released. So at anode, when oxygen is formed, electron is given. Now we know for the electrolysis or decomposition of H2SO4, we need to provide the potential, or we need to supply the current through this particular circuit with the help of battery. This is battery. So through the battery we supply what? Current, right? And how current flows? We know current always flows from positive to negative charge. So current will go from anode to cathode. This is current, and the electron will flow from cathode to anode in this direction. This is the flow of electrons. Now when we supply the current or electricity or potential through the battery, electrons flow from cathode, that is negatively charged electrode, to the anode, that is positively charged electron. Now what happens? The electrons are moving in this direction, like this. So electrons are coming here, and due to this electron, current passes, correct? Current is nothing but the flow of electrons. Now what happens? When oxygen is formed, electrons are actually generated here. Means this OH minus ion from the solution comes here and converted into the oxygen molecule and releases 4 electrons. Now here electrons are released. Actually what should happen? The electrons are coming from this battery, no, in this direction. So electrons are coming in this direction, and electrons are also generated here. So this electrons generated and electrons that are coming in this direction opposes each other, due to which the intensity of current or the magnitude of current gets decreased. If these electrons were not generated, magnitude of current should be the same, that is given by the battery. But since these electrons are generated here due to the formation of oxygen gas here, these electrons flow opposes these electrons flow in the opposite direction. So intensity or magnitude of current gets decreased. Due to decrease in I, that is current, voltage or potential also decreases. So the potential of battery also gets decreased. Now see, hydrogen that is formed over cathode does not generate any kind of electrons. It actually accepts the electron, and here the potential of electrode is 0 because this is hydrogen gas release, so it acts like a standard hydrogen electrode, and we know the standard hydrogen electrode has 0 potential. So we can say E naught of this particular cell at this particular cell, half cell, is equal to 0 volt, right? Now here oxygen is generated and the theoretical potential that has been observed here is equal to 1.23 volt. Now 1.23 volt is the actual potential that is required to carry out the electrolysis of dilute H2SO4 to form H2 and to form the O2. Okay? But the point is, when oxygen is generated, electrons are also created here or generated here, and these electrons opposite the flow of current, which reduces the voltage or potential of the battery. So the formation or the formation of O2 or the decomposition of dilute H2SO4 is going to be reduced. The rate of formation of O2 or rate of decomposition of dilute H2SO4 is going to be reduced. So to increase this rate of formation of O2 and decomposition of dilute H2SO4 or electrolysis of dilute H2SO4, we need to supply extra potential here. Extra potential, because the potential that we are supplying 1.23 volt to carry out electrolysis of dilute H2SO4 is not sufficient now. Initially it was sufficient because there was no oxygen that has been formed, or there is no generation of the electrons. Now since the electrons are generated or oxygen is formed, we need to supply extra potential, and that extra potential is nothing but the over potential. This is called as the over potential. So what we can say, the over potential is nothing but the difference in actual voltage for electrolysis to happen when gas evolution is observed. When gas evolution is observed. So difference in actual voltage for electrolysis to happen when gas evolution is observed. So when gas is evolved, that time the potential that is required, difference in potential that is required for electrolysis to happen. For electrolysis to happen means for electrolysis of dilute H2SO4, the difference in potential that is required means theoretically we need the potential of 1.23 volt for electrolysis of dilute H2SO4, but as soon as oxygen is generated, some extra potential is required for carrying out an electrolysis of dilute H2SO4. So if this extra potential is, for example 0.15 volt, how much? 0.15 volt. So 1.23 plus 0.15 volt, this total potential will be required to carry out an electrolysis of dilute H2SO4, which is the actual value of potential that is required to carry out an electrolysis, not the 1.23 volt. So 1.23 for 0.15, it will be 1.38 volt. So actual potential required is equal to 1.38 volt. So the difference between actual potential required and the theoretical value is nothing but the over potential, which will be 0.15 volt. So this is actual potential required and this is theoretical potential required for carrying out an electrolysis, and difference between these two is called as over potential. Understood? So over potential basically क्या है, समझ में आया कि नहीं? एक्चुअल पोटेंशियल हमें कितना लगने वाला है और theoretically given वैल्यू कितनी है टू कैरी आउट एन इलेक्ट्रोलिसिस ऑफ गिवन इलेक्ट्रोलाइट, और ये क्यों है? बिकॉज ऑफ द जनरेशन ऑफ सच टाइप ऑफ gases, right? So this is called as over potential. This is very important when we discuss about the products of electrolysis of different types of electrolyte. Correct? Now there this term will come that is called as over potential. So you should remember what is meant by over potential. Over potential is nothing but the difference between potential of electrode when gas evolution is actually observed and the theoretical potential of galvanic cell, right? So this cell is having actually the potential of 1.3 volt, right? So we provide through the battery 1.3 volt of the external potential so that the process gets reversed and electrolysis of dilute H2SO4 happens. But this potential is not sufficient as there is a formation or generation of the oxygen and the electrons, which opposes the flow of electrons from the opposite direction, that is the current, which in turn opposes the potential of the battery. So we need an extra potential. That extra potential is called as a over potential, correct? Now we look at the products of electrolysis. Products of electrolysis. Now the products of electrolysis depends on, first, the type of electrode being used. Which type of electrode we are going to use, whether it is inert electrode or it is a reactive electrode. Reactive electrode. Inert electrode like platinum, gold, right? These are called as inert electrode, which does not participate in the oxidation reduction reaction, whereas reactive electrodes will participate in the oxidation reduction reaction. For example, in Daniell cell, what we have seen, the electrodes are made up of zinc and copper, and these both electrodes participate in a reaction. So if electrodes participate in a reaction, the product will be different, and if the inert electrodes are taken, product will be different because they do not participate in the chemical reaction or oxidation reduction reaction, right? It also depends on the nature of material being electrolyzed. Which type of material we are going to electrolyze, means the type of electrolyte actually, right? So first we will discuss product of electrolysis that will be different for reactive and inert electrode. What happens if we take inert electrodes and what happens when we use reactive electrodes. Now let's take an example of AgNO3, that is silver nitrate. So aqueous AgNO3, if we are going to electrolyze in presence of platinum electrodes. Now these platinum electrodes are inert electrode. So consider like this, okay, we have these two electrodes, and both these electrodes are platinum electrodes. So one of the electrode will act as a cathode, another one will act as a anode, right? Now what happens at cathode and anode? At cathode, what will happen? AgNO3 means there will be presence of Ag plus ion and NO3 minus ion, and this is aqueous solution, so water will also have H plus ion and OH minus ion, right? So Ag plus ion will get deposited at the cathode and OH minus ion will go to the anode, and there is a liberation of what? Oxygen. NO3 minus ion will not go to the anode. Which ion will go? OH minus ion will be moved towards the anode. Now at cathode reaction occurs is Ag plus ions combines with the electron to give the Ag, that is silver solid, and this is aqueous. And at anode, OH minus ion will be converted into the oxygen gas, right? H2, and it will give the 2 electrons, correct? Now the important thing is not the process, how it happens. The important thing is what are the products that is being formed if we use platinum electrodes. If we use platinum electrodes for electrolysis of aqueous AgNO3, then at cathode silver get deposited, means here silver get deposited, and at anode oxygen gas is liberated. This is in case of inert electrodes like platinum. Now if the electrodes are made up of silver, means if these electrodes, both these electrodes are made up of silver. Now if we are using the same, that is we are using the aqueous solution of AgNO3, and the electrodes are made up of, this is also made up of silver and this is also made up of silver. Now silver is reactive in nature, so it will participate in the reaction. Now when it participates in the reaction, one of the electrode will act as a cathode, another one will act as a anode, right? And cathode, what will happen? Silver ion will get deposited here, and anode there will be oxidation. Now this Ag solid that is present in this electrode will get converted into the Ag plus ion. So there is a oxidation of silver at the anode, and at cathode there will be reduction of the silver ion to the silver solid. Now at cathode silver ion will get converted into the silver solid, and at anode silver from the electrode will be converted into the silver ion. So here at anode solid is converted into the ion, aqueous ion, and at the cathode aqueous ion is converted into the solid. See the products. Now in case of the inert electrodes, products from the silver solid and oxygen, whereas in case of reactive electrode like silver that we are using in case of the electrolysis of AgNO3, aqueous AgNO3, what we are getting is the silver that is deposited at the cathode, and formation of silver ion at anode, not the oxygen. So there is a difference of product that is been formed, and this is what we are looking at. What kind of products will be formed when inert electrodes are used and reactive electrodes are used? So we can see here the difference. The product formed at anodes are different. Here the silver ion is formed if we use silver or reactive electrode, and here oxygen is formed if we use inert electrode like platinum. Clear? So this is about the use of reactive and inert electrodes. Now let's talk about the second factor which affect the product of electrolysis, that is nature of material being electrolyzed. What kind of electrolyte we are going to electrolyze, depend on that the products will be different. Now the products of electrolysis, as here written here, depends on different oxidizing and reducing species present in the electrolytic cell. What kind of oxidizing and reducing species are present, and their standard electrode potential. What is its standard electrode potential? Means the potential of half cell or the reaction, either oxidation or reduction reaction. What is its potential? On that potential the product of electrolysis actually depends. Now let's take an example. If we want to electrolyze molten NaCl, now molten NaCl will have only two ions, Na plus and Cl minus. There is no presence of water molecule. So we have two electrodes. These are platinum electrodes. Now we are not talking about the type of electrodes that is being used. We are talking about the type of electrolyte that is being used. Now we have molten sodium chloride. So here there is only two ions that is being formed in molten NaCl, that is Na plus and Cl minus. There is no presence of water molecule. So this Na will go to the cathode and Cl plus Cl minus will go to the anode. So there is a formation of Cl2 gas here, and there is a deposition of sodium over the cathode. Clear? So the reaction will be at cathode sodium is going to be deposited, and anode chlorine gas is going to be formed. This is simple reaction that will happen in electrolysis of molten NaCl. Now what if we use aqueous NaCl instead of molten NaCl? So if we carry out an electrolysis of aqueous NaCl here, what will happen? In solution, beside Na plus and Cl minus ion, there is also presence of H plus and OH minus ion, as we have seen in case of electrolysis of dilute H2SO4. There is presence of H plus and OH minus ions along with the H plus and SO4 minus ions that is present, that is generated from the H2SO4 molecules. So there is presence of H plus and OH minus ions. So reaction at cathode and anode will be different. So there will be a competition for reduction and oxidation. Now how it happens? Suppose we have this electrolytic case, and these are two electrodes that are present over here, platinum electrodes. This is battery that is connected. See, now here there is a presence of aqueous solution of NaCl. The aqueous solution of NaCl will contain Na plus, Cl minus, H plus and OH minus that is obtained from the water, and Na plus and Cl minus and that is obtained from the NaCl. This is cathode and this is anode. So this Na plus and H plus ion will go towards what? Cathode. Cation will go to the cathode and anion will go to the anode, that is Cl minus ion and OH minus ion. Now which species is either going to be here? Cathode, it is cathode there, therefore it will, here there will be reduction. Now this is anode, therefore here there will be oxidation. So oxidation at anode and reduction at cathode. So whose reduction will take place at cathode and whose oxidation will take place at anode? It depends on the half cell potential or reduction potential or oxidation potential of these ions. For example, if we consider oxidation of Na plus and H plus ion at cathode, so I am writing here at cathode, when Na plus and H plus ion migrate to the cathode, its reduction will take place obviously. So reduction means Na plus 1 electron will be converted into the NH solid. So sodium will be deposited at cathode. Similarly, H plus ion will take 1 electron and will be converted into the half of H2 gas. This is also possible, right? Now what we have to look at is the cell potential, that is half cell reaction. This is half cell reaction. Half cell reaction at this particular electrode, other half cell reaction will be at this particular electrode, and when these two half cell will be combined, there will be a cell potential of entire cell. Takes potential of entire cell. Now this half cell reaction have certain potential that is called E naught of the cell for this half cell is equal to minus 2.71 volt. So for reduction of sodium, the potential required is or generated is minus 2.71 volt. Now when hydrogen is reduced into the H2 gas, the cell potential is equal to 0 volt because hydrogen gas is generated. So this electrode will act like a standard hydrogen electrode because these electrodes are made up of what? Platinum, and we know what we have used in case of the standard hydrogen electrode, platinum electrode we have used, right? And hydrogen gas there is generated. So this potential is 0 volt, this potential is minus 2.7 volt, right? And this E naught of the cell means E naught of this half cell is nothing but this standard reduction potential of the half cell or the electron. Standard reduction potential means the cell whose standard reduction potential is positive have tendency to undergo reduction. Suppose a half cell is having standard reduction potential or E naught of the cell that is negative, it means its tendency to undergo reduction is less. Or I can say, if I have Na plus and H plus ion, and this Na plus is having standard reduction potential is equal to minus 2.71 volt, and this hydrogen is having 0 volt, it means this value is negative for sodium. So standard reduction potential for sodium is negative, it means its tendency to undergo reduction is very less compared to hydrogen, because hydrogen is having 0 volt reduction potential, which is more positive as compared to sodium, that is minus 2.71. Here it is minus and this is 0. This 0 voltage is more as compared to minus 2.71 volt. So hydrogen will undergo reduction preferably compared to sodium. If this was reverse, ऐसे होता है यहाँ पे कि the potential of sodium is 0 volt and the potential of this hydrogen is minus 2.7 volt like this, then sodium could have undergone reduction preferably compared to hydrogen. So you have to remember, if half cell reduction potential is negative, then tendency to undergo reduction of that particular ion is very less. तो जितना ज़्यादा यहाँ पे निगेटिव होगा उतना ही उसका रिडक्शन में जाने की टेंडेंसी बहुत ही कम होगा, और जितना ज़्यादा पॉजिटिव रिडक्शन पोटेंशियल होगा, मतलब ई नॉट ऑफ द सेल होगा, उतना ही उसकी टेंडेंसी रिडक्शन में जाने की अच्छी होगी. तो बताओ कौन सा जाएगा यहाँ पे रिडक्शन में? हाइड्रोजन जाएगा, सोडियम नहीं जाएगा. इसका मतलब when we carry out electrolysis of aqueous sodium chloride solution, instead of sodium that should get deposited on the cathode, hydrogen preferably undergoes reduction over the cathode, and there is a release of hydrogen gas. Not sodium is not going to be deposited at the cathode, which happens in case of the molten NaCl, because there are only two ions, Na plus and Cl minus. So Na plus will deposit at cathode and Cl will go to the anode. Here, due to presence of hydrogen ion, there is a competition between sodium Na plus ion and the hydrogen ion. So hydrogen preferably goes to the cathode because its reduction potential is more positive compared to sodium. See, the reduction potential is 0 volt, whereas reduction potential of sodium is minus 2.7 volt, which is negative. So hydrogen will undergo reduction at the cathode, and there is a formation of hydrogen gas. Clear? So the product of electrolysis of aqueous NaCl solution will be, first at cathode there is a release of H2 gas, not this Na solid that is going to be deposited. So what will happen at the anode? So anode, there is a competition for oxidation, because at anode oxidation happens. So there is a competition for oxidation between Cl minus ion and the OH minus ion. So which is going to be oxidized preferably, whether Cl or OH minus ion? That depends on their electrode potential, right? So standard reduction potential of this Cl minus ion and OH minus ion reaction we are going to look at. So what will happen at anode? So at anode there is chlorine that is going to be reduced either. So chlorine is going to be oxidized. So chlorine will give Cl2 gas, half Cl2 gas plus 1 electron. So there is oxidation. Simultaneously we have OH minus ion, right, which is going to be converted into 4OH minus ion, which is going to be converted into the OH, O2, that is gas, plus there is a 2H2 water formation, which is liquid, plus there is a release of 4 electrons. So there is also oxidation. OH minus ion may undergo oxidation and Cl minus ion may also undergo oxidation. Now which ion is going to be oxidized, that depends on the potential, that is their standard reduction potential. So E naught of this half cell or half reaction, oxidation reaction, which is nothing but the standard reduction potential, is equal to 1.36 volt, whereas standard reduction potential for the formation of O2 or oxidation of the OH minus ion is equal to 1.23 volt. How much? 1.23 volt. So this is 1.36 and this is 1.23 volt. Now according to our rule, if standard reduction potential of any cell, half cell, is positive, like we have seen in case of the Na plus and H plus ion, if it is positive, then more positive, then its tendency to undergo reduction is very high. If it is less positive, then its tendency to undergo reduction is very less. It means its tendency to undergo oxidation is very high. Are you getting the point or not? समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं? क्या हो रहा है कि अगर किसी सेल का रिडक्शन पोटेंशियल ज़्यादा है पॉजिटिव में, राइट, पॉजिटिव में उसकी वैल्यू ज़्यादा है तो वो रिडक्शन में इजीली जाएगा. अगर उसकी वैल्यू पॉजिटिव में कम है तो इसका मतलब उसको रिडक्शन में जाने की वैल्यू नहीं है, टेंडेंसी नहीं है उसकी रिडक्शन में जाने की, तो वो किस में जाएगा? ऑक्सीडेशन में. और एनोड पे हो क्या रहा है? ऑक्सीडेशन में. इसका मतलब यहाँ पे जो दो रिएक्शंस दिए, इसमें से जिस भी रिएक्शन का स्टैंडर्ड इलेक्ट्रोड पोटेंशियल या फिर स्टैंडर्ड रिडक्शन पोटेंशियल कम होगा वो प्रिफरेबली क्या हो जाएगा? ऑक्सीडाइज होगा. क्योंकि जिसका यहाँ पे देखो कम होता है उसका क्या होता है? ऑक्सीडेशन. अब यहाँ पे देखो ये कितना है? 1.36 और ये कितना है? 1.23. तो बताओ कौन सा जाएगा ऑक्सीडेशन में? हमें लगेगा भाई ये जाएगा, OH माइनस जाएगा प्रेफरेबली Cl माइनस के कंपैरिजन में, क्योंकि इसकी वैल्यू क्या है? कम है. 1 पॉइंट कितना है? 23 है वोल्ट. सो जाना कौन सा चाहिए ऑक्सीडेशन में? OH माइनस आयन जाना चाहिए. लेकिन ऐसा नहीं होता. एक्चुअली Cl माइनस आयन क्या जाता है? ऑक्सीडेशन में जाता है प्रिफरेबली. कौन सा जाएगा? Cl माइनस आयन. अब आप बोलोगे सर ये तो रूल को कॉन्ट्राडिक्ट कर रहा है हमारे, राइट? जैसे कि हमने देखा था Na प्लस और H प्लस आयन के केस में. अब यहाँ पे कॉन्ट्रडिक्शन होने का पीछे लॉजिक ये है कि हियर देर इज अ फॉर्मेशन ऑफ O2, दैट इज ऑक्सीजन गैस, एंड एज वी हैव सीन इन केस ऑफ द ओर पोटेंशियल, व्हेन such type of gas is formed, extra potential is required for carrying out an electrolysis. तो यहाँ पे जब इस टाइप का गैस प्रोड्यूस होगा ऑक्सीजन गैस, तो थोड़ा हमें यहाँ पे एक्स्ट्रा पोटेंशियल देना पड़ेगा. क्या देना पड़ेगा? एक्स्ट्रा पोटेंशियल देना पड़ेगा फॉर फॉर्मेशन टू फॉर कैरिंग आउट दिस पर्टिकुलर रिएक्शन, दैट इज फॉर ऑक्सीडेशन ऑफ OH minus N और फॉर फॉर्मेशन ऑफ दी ऑक्सीजन गैस. सो एक्स्ट्रा पोटेंशियल और ओवर पोटेंशियल की यहाँ पे क्या पड़ेगी? ज़रूरत पड़ेगी. और ये एक्स्ट्रा पोटेंशियल और ओवर पोटेंशियल की ज़रूरत पड़ेगी तो ये 1.33 वोल्ट से ज़्यादा ही लगेगा. और जनरली ऐसे ऑब्जर्व किया गया है कि फॉर अल्कली और एसिड, मोस्ट ऑफ द अल्कली और एसिड के लिए जो ओवर पोटेंशियल रिक्वायर्ड होता है या फिर टोटल पोटेंशियल फॉर कैरिंग आउट एन इलेक्ट्रोलिसिस होता है, वो होता है लगभग 1.7 वोल्ट होता है. कितना? 1.7 वोल्ट. तो यहाँ पे कितना दिया है हमने? एक्चुअली थियोरेटिकली कितना लग रहा है? 1.23, लेकिन एक्चुअली कितना लगेगा? 1.7. तो इन दोनों का अगर मैं डिफरेंस निकालूंगा तो ये आएगा कितना? 4.67 वोल्ट. तो ये जो 4.67 वोल्ट है ये होगा हमारा ओवर पोटेंशियल जो हमें सप्लाई करना पड़ेगा फॉर electrolysis of OH minus ion into the oxygen gas at anode. Are you getting the point or not? तो यहाँ पे ये 4.67 वोल्ट ज़्यादा लगेगा, तो टोटल हमें कितना देना पड़ेगा? 1.7 वोल्ट, जो कि यहाँ पे ज़रूरत नहीं पड़ेगी. 1.36 वोल्ट. तो यहाँ पे अब देखो ये कितना लगेगा हमें एक्चुअल में? 1.7 वोल्ट ओवर पोटेंशियल को मिला के, राइट. और यहाँ पे कितना लग रहा है? 1.36. तो कौन सा जाएगा फिर? प्रेफरेबली Cl जाएगा. क्यों हो रहा है ये? ड्यू टू रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ ओवर पोटेंशियल फॉर ऑक्सीडेशन ऑफ OH minus ion इनटू द ऑक्सीजन गैस. आर यू गेटिंग द पॉइंट और नॉट? तो रीज़न आपको ऐसे लिखना है कि क्यों Cl minus ion प्रेफरेबली ऑक्सीडेशन में जाता है एट एनोड. तो आंसर में ये लिखना है कि व्हेन OH minus ion is oxidized at anode, there is a requirement of extra or over potential of 4.67 volt compared to theoretical potential of 1.23 volt. So the chlorine with the cell potential of 1.36 volt undergo oxidation preferably. Clear? So यहाँ पे रिएक्शन क्या हुई? एनोड पे Cl minus ion is converted into the Cl2 गैस. अब हमें रिएक्शन मिल चुका है कि भाई एनोड पे Cl2 बनेगा और कैथोड पे जो है हमने देखा कैथोड पे क्या बनने वाला है? यहाँ पे हाइड्रोजन गैस बनने वाला है. ठीक. तो प्रोडक्ट ऑफ इलेक्ट्रोलिसिस एक्वेस इसका क्या हुआ एक्चुअली? H2 गैस एंड Cl2 गैस. दो ये चीज़ें बनेगी. एक कौन सा बनेगा? H2 और कौन सा बनेगा? Cl2 गैस बनेगा. होना क्या चाहिए था? NaCl से सोडियम डिपॉजिट होना चाहिए था और क्लोरीन गैस लिबरेट होना चाहिए था, लेकिन ऐसा नहीं हुआ. H2 गैस बना और साइमल्टेनियसली क्लोरीन गैस बना. तो फिर सोडियम आयन जो बचा होगा उसका क्या होगा? और जो OH माइनस आयन यहाँ पे बचा है उसका क्या होगा? तो यहाँ पे जो सोडियम आयन बचेगा और यहाँ पे जो OH माइनस आयन बचेगा, ये दोनों कंबाइन होके यहाँ पे बनाएंगे NaOH. क्या बनाएंगे? NaOH. तो तीन प्रोडक्ट हमें मिलेंगे एक्वेस NaCl सॉल्यूशन को इलेक्ट्रोलाइज करने के बाद. एक हाइड्रोजन गैस, दूसरा क्लोरीन गैस और तीसरा हमें मिलेगा यहाँ पे NaOH. तो तीन हमें यहाँ पे चीज़ें मिल जाएगी. NaOH, दूसरा क्लोरीन गैस और तीसरा हाइड्रोजन गैस. क्लियर हुआ कि नहीं? ठीक. तो अगर हमें ओवरऑल रिएक्शन लिखना है for electrolysis of aqueous NaCl solution, so what we get is at cathode there is formation of hydrogen gas. So H plus ion aqueous plus 1 electron will result into formation of half of H2. Correct? Now this H plus ion is obtained from water. H2 is converted into H plus plus OH minus ion. So it is obtained from this H plus ion is obtained from water actually. So if we combine these two reactions, first and this second, what we get is actually H2O plus H plus ion plus electron gives half of H2 plus H plus ion plus OH minus ion. This is gas, this is aqueous, and this is aqueous. This is also aqueous. This is liquid. Now you can see H plus ion is present here, so it will get cancelled. So remaining is actually H2O plus 1 electron will gives half of H2 gas plus OH minus ion, that is aqueous. So this is the actual reaction that is happening at the cathode, right? So now we will look at the anode. At anode we know there is a formation of Cl2 gas. So Cl minus ion gives Cl2 gas, half Cl2 gas plus 1 electron, correct? So overall reaction becomes, first what we taken, NaCl solid, aqueous, actually NaCl is added into the aqueous medium. This NaCl gives Na plus Cl minus 2 ions, aqueous and aqueous, right? Now we have two reactions here. H2O plus electrons gives half of H2 plus OH minus, and the other one is at anode Cl minus gives half of Cl2 plus electron. If I combine all these reactions, all three reactions, what I get is, here I get NaCl, right, gives plus यहाँ पे H2O plus Cl minus plus electron gives Na plus Cl minus plus half of H2 plus OH minus plus half of Cl2 plus electron. Now electron will get cancelled, right? Cl minus ion will get here cancelled. Remaining one is NaCl aqueous plus H2O liquid gives Na plus OH minus plus H2 plus half of Cl2. So you can see when aqueous NaCl is electrolyzed, what we are getting is NaOH plus hydrogen gas plus Cl2 gas. We are not getting here Na solid that is going to be deposited, that is sodium solid that is going to be deposited. So there is no deposition of sodium metal over the cathode. What we are getting is the sodium hydroxide, NaOH plus H2 plus Cl2. So you have to remember that during electrolysis of aqueous NaOH solution, what we are getting is the three products, NaOH, H2 and Cl2 gas. And during electrolysis of molten NaCl, what we are getting is the Na solid plus Cl2 gas. Now what we are going to look at is the electrolysis of dilute and concentrated sulfuric acid. This is also asked in competitive examination. What is liberated at cathode, what is liberated at anode if dilute and concentrated H2SO4 is electrolyzed. So you can see here, if you take dilute H2SO4, then in dilute H2SO4 there are presence of the 4 ions, H plus ion that is obtained from the H2SO4, H plus ion that is obtained from the water, SO4 minus ion that is obtained from the H2SO4, and OH minus ion that is obtained from the water. So you can look here that in case of aqueous H2SO4, we have here H plus ion from H2SO4, H plus ion from water, then we have SO4 minus ion from H2SO4, and we have OH minus ion that is obtained from the water. So these ions are present. So majorly H plus ion, SO4 minus ion and OH minus ion is present. So at cathode, H plus ion will get reduced to form the hydrogen gas. There is no competition for hydrogen gas because there is no another cation that is present in the aqueous solution. But in case of the anode, two ions are competing, OH minus ion and the SO4 minus ion. Which ion is going to be oxidized, that depends again on their oxidation potential or reduction potential. Now in case of competition between OH minus ion and SO4 minus ion, OH minus ion preferably gets oxidized at the anode compared to SO4 minus ion, because OH minus ion is having less reduction potential compared to SO4 minus ion. So OH minus ion will be preferably oxidized, as same as that of we have seen in case of the Cl minus ion and the OH minus ion in case of the aqueous NaCl. So here OH minus ion preferably get oxidized if the solution is dilute to form the oxygen gas at the anode. So this is the reaction that happens. Already we have seen in case of the aqueous NaCl solution. Now this OH minus ion is again obtained from the water molecule, right, like this. So 4H2O gives 4OH minus ion and the 4H plus ion. So if I combine these two reactions, so overall reaction I am getting is here you can see 2H2O, here you can see 4H2O. So 2H2 will be cancelled and remaining will be 2H2O. Here 4H is present, here 4H OH minus ion is present, this will get cancelled. So remaining will be here 2H2O, then here there will be O2, 2H2O is cancelled, remaining one is 4 electron you are getting. Here OH is also cancelled and remaining one is 4H plus ion. So overall reaction will be 2H2O gives O2 plus 4H plus ion plus 4 electrons, and its electrode potential is 1.23 volt. That already we have seen in when we were looking for the oxidation of OH minus ion during electrolysis of NaCl. So this will happen. So there will be formation of H2 gas at cathode and there will be formation of O2 gas at anode. So products of electrolysis of dilute sulfuric acid will be hydrogen at cathode and oxygen gas at anode. That's it. You have to remember this only. Next, if we have concentrated H2SO4, then in concentrated H2SO4 solution there will be again three types of ions. H plus ion, that is from H2SO4, H plus ion, that is from water, sulfate ion from the H2SO4, and OH minus ion from the water. Now in this case, since the concentration of OH minus ion is very less as the solution is concentrated, so at cathode there is no competition, there is only H plus ion that is going to be reduced. So reaction at cathode will remain same as that of the dilute H2SO4. There is a formation of the H2. So we can say at cathode, in case of concentrated H2SO4 also there is formation of hydrogen gas, H2 gas is formed, right? Now if we have OH minus ion and the SO4 minus ion that is competing at anode, then in case of concentrated H2SO4, sulfate ion will get oxidized, not the OH minus ion, as that happened in case of the dilute H2SO4. This is because concentration of OH minus ion is less as compared to SO4 minus ion. And what we get here is H2OH minus 2 ion, that is called as peroxysulfate ion. This is called as peroxysulfate ion. So peroxysulfate ion is formed, means SO4 is going to be oxidized to peroxysulfate and gives the 2 electron, where the electrode cell potential is 1.96 volt. Right? So this will be the product of electrolysis. You have to remember peroxysulfate ion for concentrated H2SO4 at anode, whereas dilute H2SO4 you get oxygen gas at anode.